Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing? How y'all doing? Okay, we got some viewers that's in here already. All right. Cool, cool. Let me know in the chat. How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing? Yes, it's live. It's live. We live on Twitter and we live on YouTube. How y'all doing? Hopefully it's not too echoey in here. I'm in my spot in Texas and it's not much in this room. It's just like a desk, and that's it. So might be a little echoey in here. I might need to get some little sound panels and stuff like that, but hopefully it sounds all good. What's up? What's up? And let me see if I can see my video as well on my laptop. So that way I can see everything on YouTube. How y'all doing? What's up? What's up, everybody? I'm glad y'all tuned in late. Like I said, I had tweeted this a little earlier today, but basically when it comes to me being in Texas now, I'm able to kind of like do more because it's still early here. It's only 8:30, so that's really good. But yeah, so let's get right into this, right? So this is another GovTech Live with Simone B. So I usually do these on Mondays, but yesterday was a holiday, and the other weeks before that, I was traveling, I was moving around, moving, things like that. So now we are back, and I definitely have a lot of GovTech news that I want to talk about today. If you haven't seen my like YouTube videos on this already, I've already started dropping hints and making small videos about it, but there's a ton of like money that's flowing into GovTech right now in the GovTech industry. So much money flowing in through the United States and through other foreign countries that we're allies with as well. So, like, how many people in here saw Dubai saying that they're going to commit $1 trillion over the next 10 years? Also, Qatar, they're also, I think they're committing somewhere around 160 billion. Same thing with KSA as well. And then in the States, we have a ton of money that's being directed towards government technology, improving our infrastructure through the Golden Dome program, also improving infrastructure with like GovCloud, also with different AI programs, start utilizing AI with different government contractors. I know y'all probably seen it. Palantir, Anduril, SpaceX trying to get a piece of this government money. So it's definitely what's happening right now. So yeah, y'all. So look, I want to cover some topics. I saw one. I mean, do y'all want me to talk about the Golden Dome first? I have a YouTube video that's going to come out on the Golden Dome really soon. But I want to definitely talk about what's happening with these different contracts. There's a $151 billion contract that just came down the pipeline through MDA, which is pretty crazy. That's a huge contract. Let's see. Yeah, we got people from all over in here. So yeah, that's a huge contract. So I'm gonna just share my screen over here just so y'all can see it. But let's see. So if y'all can see this here, got this like this. All right, cool. So if y'all can see this here, basically we got this first contract. Let me make the screen a little bit bigger so y'all can see it. Cool. We got this first contract here. This is with MDA, Missile Defense Agency. There's going to be a ton of work coming from Missile Defense Agency over the next really like 20, 30 years, honestly. But they ended up issuing a pre-solicitation notice for the SHIELD contract. And with this SHIELD contract, this is going to be the scalable homeland innovative enterprise layered defense. And this is going to be multiple awards, and delivery is indefinite quantity type of contract. So pretty much any type of government contractor is going to be able to compete for this contract here, and it's going to take multiple government contractors to get this type of work done. But it's a 10-year performance, and it's going to be a $151 billion contract over 10 years. And it's going to go across 19 work areas. So that could be many different locations, right? So, of course, tons of work coming down the pipeline in terms of that. Let me move my mic over here so that way it's more in front of me and not so far away. Let me move that out the way real quick. But yeah, so that's one big contract that came down the pipeline, right? Let me see. CD said just saw your repost about UAE and came here immediately. Look, the money is flowing. It's flowing. All right. So let me see if I could just pull it up real quick with UAE. Let me see if I get this going. I gotta get this mic in a way to where I can do both. Need to pick up this adapter real quick. Let's see. So yeah, UAE $1 trillion investment in AI and like government contracting. So let me see. I'm trying to pull it up. Here we go. So this was about a month ago, but of course, like they're coming out with new news all the time. Oh, we don't want to go there. Let's see. So they're coming out with new news all the time. So what was it earlier today? They came out with some more news too. So we'll get into that next. But look, so UAE, they're going to invest $1.4 trillion in the US over 10 years, right? So this is a huge ally for us. So if you're into overseas government contracting, Dubai is going to be popping, right? Going to be going crazy. So there's going to be a lot more contracts out there. And the people who've been sitting in those Dubai roles forever, it's finally going to be opportunities for other people to get into Dubai because it's really hard to get there. I got to try and find the link to it or find it on my Twitter. I had literally just talked about it earlier, but Dubai also announced that they're going to give all of their citizens free ChatGPT subscriptions, right? So Dubai is going all in on AI. They're going all in on AI, data centers, and just making sure that they're winning. They're going to try to win the AI race, right? Their main goal is to beat China. And that's kind of like where we come in, where with all of these different projects that they're going to have done, right? It's not going to be done by the Emiratis or Emiratis. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's not going to be done by the people that live in Dubai. It's going to be done by government contractors, right? So when the data centers get built, once they need to be operated, any type of AI, ML type of work, anything for sustainment, that's all going to be done by, Americans for sure. So let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, here it is right here. Let's see. Are y'all still able to see this page over here? Yep, there you go. So look, let me zoom it in some more because like I said, it's kind of small. But let me zoom it in. So look, so this was like earlier today. So it said breaking, the UAE announces that they'll be providing every citizen a ChatGPT Plus subscription for free. And this project is a key partnership between OpenAI and the UAE government. And they're going to be building major AI data center called Stargate UAE in Abu Dhabi, right? So Stargate UAE is a part of OpenAI for Countries initiative, right? So literally, there's going to be work all around the globe, right? Any country that doesn't want to stay behind in this AI race is going to be happening, right? So, like I said, this all ties back to us in the GovTech industry because they are going to be relying on government contractor companies to come in and do the work, right? So people that work at OpenAI, you'll start to see it. OpenAI is going to want to start having people that already have clearances, or they'll start to say like, hey, we'll sponsor a clearance for you for this role, right? So you're going to see a ton of that across all of the different FANG companies. It's already obviously been happening across the big government contractor companies like, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Leidos, GDIT, all of the big ones, right? That's been happening for a while now. Let me see. Danielle said, what's the plan for tonight as far as what you're sharing? These are the first two things I have planned. Outside of that, I was just going to kind of like wing it, honestly. These are the biggest things. There's really not a ton of things that have been happening recently. I talked about the MDA, right? I talked about this program that's happening for the Shield contract. And I talked about like UAE. I already made another video about this as well, talking about, let's see, talking about basically how, there's going to be a ton of work going across because of the AI boom that's happening. And then also Golden Dome, right? So I talked about Golden Dome before. Not going to get too deep into it right now because literally I have a YouTube video coming out talking about that soon, right? So let me see. Let's see. Do I think that SATCOM is growing? I want to work overseas. What is Shield? Yeah, that's a great question, right? So SATCOM's definitely growing, right? With especially with these programs like Golden Dome, right? You're going to need satellite communications. As you can see, Space Force is literally trying to take like FAA contracts. That's all satellite communications. All of these different systems run off of satellite communications, right? These systems that are out all around the world and wherever they may be at, they're not like they're not really hooked up by like just like an internet cable or fiber optics cable. They do have obviously networking components, but they communicate through satellite communications, most of them. So I think satcom's a great industry to be in, or field to focus on if you're interested in like communications. I like satcom a lot. Satellite is a huge area to be in for sure. Joel said, any tips on A plus in networking? Are you talking about like A plus, like networking for like the certification? Let's see. Let me see what other news came across that I want to touch on. Let me see. I'm gonna go and look and see what other news is on here to touch on as well. And y'all can also drop questions in the chat too. Because like I said, I was just gonna kind of just cover a few things, and then from there just wing it. So if y'all want me to look for roles that are sponsoring clearances, I can do that. Anything like that, I'm definitely down for it. Any comments, any questions that you have, you can ask them and I'll answer them for you. So that's definitely what I can do tonight. Cause like I said, it hasn't been a whole lot of news, right? It hasn't been a whole lot of news coming out within the past few weeks as well. That's another reason why I didn't really feel too bad about not coming live, because it hasn't been a ton of news outside of what's been happening overseas and what's been happening with AI and some of the bigger programs like Golden Dome. Let's see. Yeah. What's up? What's up, Jazz? What's up? Nate, you said you just started working in the Space Force as a controller, first job after college, after applying your tips. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, man, you already know Space Force is where it's at, right? Super bullish on anything space related. Super bullish for sure. But congrats, Nate. Congrats. That's major. That's major. I'm wondering what I can do here. Can I star this? If I star it, what's that mean? Okay, cool. So that's dope. That's dope. So I was able to put that up on the screen. So that's super dope. So yeah, Nate said just started working in Space Force as a controller, first job after college, after applying your tips. Really dope. Let me see. Mira said, what's happening in September? So what's happening in September is GovTechCon. GovTechCon is my 3-day conference where you'll be able to come out. We have a career expo, which is basically a career fair. So we have a 2-day career fair where we'll have different government agencies and government contractor companies that will be interviewing people on the spot. They'll be collecting resumes. You'll be able to network with them. And then also this is also based on career development as well, right? So with the career development, oh wait, let's see. Okay, there we go. On the career development piece as well, when it comes to GovTechCon, we have career workshops, and our tracks are specifically focused on cybersecurity, AI, and cloud. And then we've added a new track as well for anybody who's interested in starting their own government contractor company. We've added like a more of like an entrepreneur focused track for people that want to take their tech skills and start their own government contracting company, start bidding and start, winning, and maybe even being like a subprime or eventually like a prime contractor one day. So yeah, GovTechCon is definitely where you want to be at. Let me get that banner going up here, and I'll also show you as well. I'll show you over here on the screen. If y'all haven't seen GovTechCon, I can't remember if the sound plays on here. This is only my 3rd time on StreamYard, so literally only my 3rd time up here. So yeah, this is GovTechCon, and this is going to be this is our 2nd year having GovTechCon, right? So this one's going to be September 11th through 13th. It's going to be at the Gaylord National Convention Center, which is about 10 minutes from DC, I would say 10-15 minutes, depending on how fast you're driving. But yeah, definitely make sure you get your ticket here. It's going to be a great event. You definitely don't want to miss it. Last year was the kickoff, and this year we're making things much bigger and better. So definitely make sure you get your ticket. You can save 20% off on GovTechCon.com. Just use code YT20 to save 20%. Let's see. Cool. Get this going. All right, cool. So let me see. What jobs can you apply to? Chris, I don't know your background. What's your background? Let me see. What state's it in? It's in Maryland, but it's like 10 minutes from DC. Kenneth said, cool video production, Simone. Shout out to my videographer, James. He did all that. Shout out to James. Shout out to James. He definitely hooked it up for sure. He hooked it up all the way. So let me see what questions y'all have. Like I said, if you want me to look for job sponsoring clearances, I might do that because I need to do it anyway. So I always look for job sponsoring clearances every single week. So let's see. Let me scroll back up. Link for GovTechCon. I just dropped it in the chat for you, Eugene. I just dropped it in the chat for you, so you got it. You can just click on it. And then Jalen, you said, I've been working for a defense contractor for 7 months, fresh out of college, in an entry-level finance role. How can you get into GovTech? So Jalen, I mean, you're basically going to have to take your finance skills and then start applying them to tech. So what I see some people do when it comes to finance is they'll start to make the transition into GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance. This is like a subset of cybersecurity where you're focused more on policy. You might be doing IT audits instead of, financial audits. I don't know exactly what you do, but that is a good way to go about it. Let's see. Omar, going for my Security Plus cert. How's that looking in the future since AI is here, right? So literally, since I personally think that AI is not going to have that big of an impact on GovTech, right? You might have gotten here a little bit late, Omar, but there's literally like trillions and trillions of dollars flowing into this industry, and AI is not going to stop that, right? They need humans to work these roles. They need humans to have government security clearances, and that's not going to change anytime soon, right? Like if I had to bet my last dollar on like one of the last standing industries to work in, it's going to be government and military, right? That's where I would put my last dollar. Like that's where the money's always going to be at. That's where the jobs will always be at. Let me see. Marisa said if anybody's looking to get sponsored for clearances, I know a company that sponsors them. Yeah, drop it in the chat. Let's see. Also, I want to make sure that this is going for you too. What other questions y'all got? I want to make sure that this promo code is working for you. I'm gonna add another one too. All right, let me see. Is tech all about coding? No, it's not. It's not all about coding. You don't even have to learn how to code, especially with AI now. It's not really necessary. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's see. What are the best areas in Texas for GovTech jobs? Best areas in Texas. would definitely be, I would say, like the Dallas area, like the Dallas suburbs area. Great place for you to be at for GovTech. Also, Houston has a lot of work coming out as well through like this one company called Amentum. They got a lot of contracts and a lot of work out in Houston. El Paso is major for GovTech as well. And then also you got Fort Hood, which is, in Killeen. So it's like an hour outside of Austin. So those are like all really good areas for GovTech in Texas. Let me move my laptop so I can stop looking over this way. Let's see. All right, let's see. I live in Minnesota. I don't know. I can't think of any jobs in Minnesota off the top of my head, but you can go to clearancejobs.com and just click on Minnesota as a state and see if anything pops up. Let's see. The 1%, how can I connect with you for an interview? I'm a cloud engineer and teach people how to scale to 250K per year with cloud. It depends. I gotta see who you are, right? There's a lot of people that, I don't know, I gotta see who you are. I gotta vet you first. I would say send me a DM on Instagram first. Chris, what jobs can I apply for overseas with a computer science degree and an active secret? So what I did radar system engineering. That's what I did overseas. You might be able to find some DevOps work. I'm not sure. Like you don't. There's not a ton of software engineering based work overseas at all. Francis, how do you get a security clearance when most employers don't sponsor? Almost every company sponsors clearances. You just have to apply to the jobs that are sponsoring. So you go to clearancejobs.com, type in ability to obtain, and then you find all the jobs that sponsor and clearances. So let me pull it up real quick. Uh, All right, so yeah, this is clearancejobs.com, right? You do not need an account. Everybody always asks that. Just come on here, just type in ability to obtain. All right, ability to obtain. That's pretty much it. And then you'll see a bunch of jobs that come up. Some of them have it in the title where it's like it says ability to obtain clearance, but let me try to find one. Here's one right here. This is not like an IT based job. This is a logistics job, but I just want to show you. Oh wait, hold on. No, this one's not sponsoring. Let me see. Let me do this. Let's find something. So I know this one is. So this one's a data science role. They got positions literally all over Tampa, North Carolina, Cali, Hawaii, Colorado, all over, even in Germany. So this is what you're going to look for, right? Ability to obtain. They usually say more than this, but ability to obtain is basically what you're going to look for. So this role right here is sponsoring a secret. And let's see. Um, that one's probably not sponsoring. Let's see. And to make it easier for where it's all like just tech jobs, you can just pick all this IT stuff right here, all these categories. So let's see. Here's one. This one might be sponsoring. Yeah, ability to obtain clearance, right? Literally every company sponsors. You just got to apply to jobs that are sponsoring clearances. Like that's the main thing. Most people just don't know how to find these jobs. So you literally just go on clearance jobs, type in ability to obtain, and that's it, right? And you do not need to make an account. Like if I hit apply here and then hit apply now, it's gonna say, hey, you're about to be redirected to an external page. Just hit apply and then boom, like that's it. You don't need to make an account to find jobs on clearance jobs or this job is closed. But you don't need to make an account to find jobs or to apply to jobs up here. You literally just hit apply and then it'll redirect you. If it asks you to sign in, when you're applying to a job when you're trying to apply to a job that's sponsoring a clearance, that means it's hosted specifically on clearance jobs. And that one you will need an account, but you can't make an account if you don't have a clearance. So just focus on the jobs that you don't need a clearance for, which is a lot of them up here. I would say maybe like 98% of the jobs on clearance jobs are posted on the actual company's website. So yeah, that's how that works. So let's see. What's the best way to revamp your security clearance? You're a veteran trying to get on the cyber of GovTech side. You're gonna need to start with your Security Plus for sure. If you have a clearance and you get your Security Plus, you can start like working into cybersecurity analyst type roles and things like that. Do you need a bachelor's degree for cybersecurity? You don't need a bachelor's degree for cyber. How do you get these jobs? So you have to get certifications, or is mostly experience? Entry level jobs are going to be mostly certifications. The more advanced jobs, you'll need the certifications and experience. So depending on where you're at, you might start at more entry level, have to work your way up. If you already have experience, you probably just need to get the certs and then just transition in. Kesno, if I was prior service U.S. military vet, what are my looks on getting a clearance in cybersecurity? So you're not going to start straight in cyber if you don't have your clearance still. But you can get your security plus, start out in like help desk IT support, get sponsored for a clearance, and then make the transition into GovTech. Um, any knowledge transfer from SATCOM to radar? Yeah, it's huge knowledge transfer for sure. If you can do SATCOM, you can do radar. If you can do radar, you can do SATCOM. Um, let me see. Do I have a bachelor's degree? Yes, I have a bachelor's. I went to school on a scholarship. And also the federal government paid for some of my classes too. There was a question I wanted to answer. I'm trying to find it. Oh, Almighty Bree said, are you familiar with government contracting company Paraton? Got hit up by a recruiter. Yes, Paraton is a major government contractor. Yep. Paraton's major. No pump fakes. I have an interim right now. Can I apply for jobs without the full clearance? It depends. Some jobs are going to want you to have the full clearance already. I mean, if you have an interim, you should be able to get the full clearance like really soon, right? Like you don't typically have interims for that long, like maybe a couple of months at max. Is the order? Let's see. Is there a deadline to get your security plus? No, I mean, there's no deadline. I would just say, like, if you're trying to come to GovTechCon and you don't have your security plus and you don't have experience, you're pretty much just going out there to network, right? Because you won't be in a position to actually get a job. Frederico just passed my RHCSA today. Nice. Congrats. Yeah, there's jobs in the DFW area. Is remote unrealistic right now for entry level? I mean, it depends, right? There's some remote help desk jobs. I just tell people to not bank on remote jobs because if there's not as many out there and you don't have experience, right, you're going to severely limit the jobs that you can apply to. So, um, I mean, I recommend like if you're trying to change your career, I recommend like, just knowing, hey, you're probably gonna have to go into the office, whether it's 2 or 3 days a week, maybe it's 5 days a week. It just depends. Let's see. Have I heard of Rapid Ascent SOC Analyst Program? No, I never heard of it. In GovTech, are they using Mac, Windows, or Linux more? Almost all of the systems run on Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Let's see. Emmanuel said, you took and passed your Security Plus cert on Saturday. Let's go. Nice. Congrats. Anthony, how would you even be able to get into radars or SATCOM without joining the military? It's based off the companies you work for, right? I've never been in the military, but I worked for companies that mostly does radar work, right? So if you work for those companies, you work on radar programs, you start to get that radar experience and knowledge, and that's kind of how you go about it. So it just depends on like which companies you work for, right? So some companies focus more on radar, some companies focus more on software, some companies focus more on planes, right? Some companies focus more on ships, right? It just depends on what type of company you work for. Yes, there's GovTech roles in DFW area. Um, Let me see. Ronnie said, I just got a full-time remote help desk job with no experience. Lit. Let's see. I have no IT experience. Is it realistic for me to transition into this field and study and pass the Security Plus? Yes. How do I like Atlanta for tech and just in general? I personally don't think Atlanta is the best area to live in for like GovTech. There used to be way more positions, I would say, but between 2020, 2023-ish, but they've started to kind of like slow down. Like if you don't have specific aerospace experience, there's not going to be as much work in Atlanta, right? I recommend people that are in Atlanta to start looking at Huntsville. Like there's a ton of work in Huntsville. I just checked earlier today. Has 1,500 jobs that are open, and 500 of them are sponsoring clearances. And it's only 3 hours from Atlanta, 15-minute flight. I have a computer science degree. Nick, what's up? What's up? I work for the post office in New York. Can I get a clearance through them? Thank you. Appreciate you for the super chat, Nick. I appreciate you. So post office, I don't believe they have roles that sponsor clearances, not that I'm aware of. You will need to switch to like a federal agency or government contractor company. Where do you look in New York for a tech job? I mean, if you don't care about it being GovTech, I mean, Indeed is great. Indeed, that works just fine. But if you're looking for like GovTech, there's not as many GovTech jobs in New York. Let me see. Y'all have a ton of questions. If y'all aren't aware, I am having a 5-day six-figure tech challenge too. So in my 5-day six-figure tech challenge, anybody in here who is either a career transitioner or somebody who works in tech, and you're looking to get like that six-figure roadmap, and you're looking to get a resume that's going to help you land these six-figure roles or get into this career, I definitely highly suggest that you sign up for my six-figure tech challenge, especially while the tickets are a cheaper price right now. So um, let's see. So basically what we're doing here is going to help you create your 200K plus tech salary roadmap in just 5 days. So it's for career changers, tech professionals, vets, and federal employees. So if your goal is to double your tech salary, definitely make sure you come out to this challenge. It's 5 days. You spend 10 hours with me. For the first hour, what I'm going to be doing is answering all your questions. Second hour, we have actual class where I pretty much teach you one section on, I focus on one topic. Let me just scroll down here. So I focus on one topic here. Let me show you each day. So let me get in here. So let me get down to it. All right, yeah. So here's what you learn in the 5 days. So day one, we go through your mindset shift. So it's a 200K salary thinking, right? So a lot of people want to get to these high salaries and really don't have the right mindset to get to the high salaries, right? And without having the right mindset, it's going to be very hard to do that. Day number two, what I do is help you reverse engineer these high paying tech roles. If you're already in tech, right, I highly suggest you focus on doubling your tech salary. If you're not in tech, help you reverse engineer which roles are going to be best off of your technical skills that you already have. And then day three, help you revamp your resume so you leave the class with a fully optimized resume that you can use to start applying for jobs. People that came to the previous challenge, they actually started getting hit up by recruiters literally the next day after that third day. And then day four, help you learn how you can leverage, living tax free, whether you're in the States or overseas. And I'm bringing in a CPA that's helping us learn that. So whether you don't want to go overseas, you don't have to. You can still learn how you can leverage your tech skills to live tax free. And then day 5 is wealth building with 6-figure tech careers. So again, we're going to be focused on building that wealth. And you're going to be doing that throughout these 5 days. So if you like these live, you like these questions, you like me answering questions, and you want more help, I definitely suggest that you join this challenge. So it's going to be starting June 9th, but you want to join now because as we get closer, the ticket prices will go up. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat for anybody to join the 6-figure tech challenge. All right. So, yeah, for all the people that are asking a lot of questions, you want more help. You've seen other people that have gotten results from me as well. You definitely want to make sure that you come out to it because it's definitely a good time. I don't know if y'all have seen the interview that I had before with Nate, but he came to the challenge, and after the challenge, within a month, he was able to get 2 6-figure GovTech job offers that sponsored his clearance. Right. So you come in, learn actionable information, ask questions, and apply it. And by the end of that 5 days, you have your roadmap and your resume, and you're ready to go. So, for people that have always been like, asking questions, you're ready to really commit to it, I definitely suggest you sign up for it. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, we talking 200K base. We're talking 200K base salary. Let's see. Uh, I have IT experience, but it's been since 2009. I do have an IT manager, cert, project management, NC worker. I mean, it just really kind of depends on what you've been doing since then. Like I don't know what you've been doing, so it kind of is going to depend on what you did, how you can flip what you've been doing and show like, hey, I still have transferable skills. I still have skills from then. And then you'll also definitely need to like upskill and start getting more certs too, just so you can get up to speed. A lot of things have changed since '09. Is there really a tech hiring shortage? Is it difficult to land a role paying 100K plus in this job market? I personally don't think so. Things in GovTech are different from the regular tech market. So that's something there. Um, let's see. Is remote out of the window for entry level roles? It depends. It just depends. Reckon B, how's 200K base salary even possible if you don't have 5+ years of experience or even 10 years of experience? It's all about how you focus on your tech skills, how you come in confidently into the interviews, how you position yourself, and the in-demand tech skills that you end up gaining, right? So of course you're going to need some experience. You're not going to be able to go from no experience straight to 200K, but with this roadmap, right? So like my boy Ace, he started working with me, right? So Ace started working with me. He hasn't even been in tech for 2 years yet, and he's already at $130,000 base salary, right? That's his base, and he's only been in tech for 18 months. So, it doesn't take nearly as long as what you think, right? And it just all depends on going after the right roles, having the right qualifications and certs, and having that confidence and leadership skills to go in and command those high salaries. So again, I break all that down in the challenge, right? So a lot of people wonder how you can do it. And they just think it's like a lot of it is a mindset thing, right? It's the limitations that you place on yourself. When you tell yourself, hey, I'm not making less than X amount of money, that's what you're going to make, right? But of course, you're not going to do it day one, but you can do it with your roadmap, right? If you want to, like, obviously, if you're brand new transitioning in, you're going to be making a 100K roadmap. If you're already in tech, if you're not at 200K yet, you'll be making a 200K roadmap. Is Florida a good market for GovTech? Orlando, Tampa, yes, definitely, definitely. Actually, helping a company hire for roles in Orlando and outside of Orlando, and there's a ton of roles in TikTok. I mean, not TikTok. There's a ton of roles in Tampa too. Brian said, "Ace, my dog. His TikTok helpful as hell." Yep, yep, yep. So I help Ace get into GovTech, and he's one of my GovTech coaches as well. Does Ace have a clearance? He has a clearance now. The clearance is the key, right? Like that's the whole thing. Get in GovTech, get a clearance. Clearance is the key. People who have clearances, on average, clearance jobs just came out with it. On average, the highest reported salary ever for clearance holders was $114,000. Right? They just came out with this a couple days ago. So the clearance is the key. You gotta get the clearance, and that's pretty much what we go over as well in there too. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Ace is a Marine vet, but you don't have to be a vet to get a clearance. I've never served in the military. Can you do clearance roles remotely? Yes, you can. What advice would you give to a 17-year-old junior in high school and a 46-year-old mom, both interested in getting into GovTech? I would recommend you all, if you can, like try to study together, right? Try to study together. If you're looking to like start with your base foundations, first start with I like telling people to use Professor Messer's A plus modules or videos that he has here on YouTube. They're completely free, right? So I definitely like telling people that if you focus on that, you'll be able to learn the foundational knowledge when it comes to computers, like software, hardware, networking, virtualizations, and then start moving into security plus, right? So if you learn the foundations, then move together, like hopefully you all keep each other on track so you don't fall behind. But that's pretty much the way that I like to go about it. Let me see. Nate said, I worked as a security guard for 5 months to get my clearance. Right. Look, people don't realize how valuable that clearance is. I'm trying to tell you, it's super valuable. And you don't need to be in those jobs for that long, right? Nate said he did it for 5 months. You can also do it in entry level like help desk jobs too, right? You can work. I've seen people work a help desk job for 3 months and then boom, they jump right into cybersecurity at the 6 month mark, right? Like it doesn't take as long as you think, but it's all about having the right strategies, listening to the right people, and having the right mindset, right? So I'm big on mindset. If your mindset's not right, your confidence not right, you're gonna be in the same place you are 5, 10 years from now, right? So you gotta work on that mindset too. Brian, you said love your video about gaining knowledge. I don't know why people think GovTech requires no knowledge of foundational or like foundational knowledge. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, like I tell people all the time, like to get to, but this is the issue, right? Most people don't actually watch my videos, right? Especially on TikTok. Oh my goodness, right? TikTok is like the worst app. They have TikTok rot brain, so they don't listen to a video past the first 5 seconds. But like you have to actually like listen to my videos, watch the YouTube videos. I put the information in there. Even have a free course that you can go through in on YouTube, right? It's an hour-long course. And it helps you figure out how you can get into GovTech, right? I go through the search you need. I go through the jobs you can apply to. I break down everything about the GovTech ecosystem, right? It's completely free right here on YouTube. And people, they just don't watch those things, right? I even do a free workshop. People don't come to that either, right? So, you get out what you put in, right? I mean, I think it's what time is it right now? It's 11:15 East Coast time, but where I'm at in Texas is 9:15, right? I've done 2 calls today. I worked today and now I'm on live, right? You get out what you put in. If I was focused on studying for certs, I would be studying for certs right now. You get out what you put in, right? If you need to be focused on learning modules, learning new skills, that's what you need to be focused on. But, just constantly looking and scrolling for a couple of minutes, asking a couple of questions, and then not really actually putting any time and effort behind it, it doesn't really get you too far. Let me see. Emmanuel said TikTok is pure brain rot. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like There's some videos where I'm just like, man, yo, you really didn't listen past like the first 5 seconds. Like, and this video is only 30 seconds long. So, when's my next workshop? So, next one is going to be Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Next workshop is Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Um, if you are interested in going to it, let me see. Um, let's see. Do I have to get the trifecta to get the job in cyber, or can I just start with Security Plus? So first, the trifecta, CompTIA trifecta, in my opinion, doesn't work, and it hasn't worked in like at least 10 years, right? You do not need the CompTIA trifecta, and it's not going to get you a cybersecurity job either. If you want to get into cybersecurity and you don't have a clearance and you don't have a degree and you don't have internship experience, right? I highly suggest you just work your way up, right? Get the Security Plus, get into an entry level IT role in GovTech, right? So get into IT support, IT technician, help desk roles, and find a job that's going to sponsor you for your clearance. You can work that help desk job for 6 to 8 months, then job hop and jump into a cybersecurity role. Like that's the fastest way and tried and true way to get into cyber without having a degree, without having a clearance or anything like that. Because most people, they're going to tell you like, I mean, I went straight into cybersecurity. Yeah, most of them had a degree. They had internships. They went to Ivy League schools. They always leave that out. Like, and then people try to use that on me too, right? They try to say, oh, well, you have a degree. Yeah, but I got into GovTech at 16. I wasn't even out of high school yet. I was a junior. I was 16 years old. I got one certification and got a GovTech job, right? These certifications are tried and true. They're a standard in GovTech. That's the difference between GovTech and the other tech industries. What's up? What's up, Slim? What's up? How you doing, man? How you doing? Are there help desk jobs that pay 60K? Yes, indeed. Of course. Of course. There are help desk jobs that pay 60. Somebody was just actually complaining to me on Instagram saying that she was upset because she said she's only been getting help desk job offers that paid 60, but she wants 70K job offers. So they're out there, right? But it depends. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to move? Are you willing to go to those places? You know, you can't have it all, right? Especially when you don't have any experience, right? You cannot have it all without any experience and without the clearance, right? You're gonna have to make a couple sacrifices. Ranzel says 6 months goes by fast. Yeah, 6 months is literally nothing. Like it's literally nothing, right? You know, so when I talk about the roadmap, it's a 12-month roadmap, right? Like 12 months is going to pass regardless, right? That's no time. We're already 6 months into this year. If you lock in and you focus 6 months from now, you could be in GovTech. Where am I finding these jobs? Clearancejobs.com, clearancejobs.com. Emmanuel said, you want to skip right past help desk hell? I mean, help desk is not that bad. I mean, working in help desk for 3 to 6 months to get a clearance is not that bad. Like it's gonna go by so fast. What's up? What's up? Hey, Tim, come. Is it too late? You want to come hop on a live? Is it too late for you to hop on? I'm on StreamYard, so you can literally just hop on in here. Ranzel, that's what I'm saying. 60K for help desk starting out, like that's pretty good. And what I was trying to explain to her and other people is like, look, 60K, you get your clearance, right? You don't have to work in that job for that long. You could be working in that job for 3 to 6 months if you're pressed, or 6 to 8 months and really build a solid foundation. and then go into other roles. You can go into Linux system administration. You can go into cybersecurity analyst. Maybe you like networking. You can go into a network admin role, right? Or maybe you like cloud. You can go into cloud, and that's the good thing about help desk. You can then branch off to whatever it is you want, right? Or whatever it is that you like. Versus where a lot of people, where they mess up is they just try to go straight to cyber. They don't get in. They waste 2 years. They might get certs, maybe not, right? They trying to get straight into cyber. They don't get in. They wasted 2 years, and they could have literally just started with help desk and already been in cybersecurity, right? Like, instead of trying to like just skip stages, you could just get in, get experience, get clearances, and start making progress, right? So like there's a creator on here, Siobhan Salmon. He says it all the time, right? Like, slow motion is better than no motion. All these people trying to go straight to cybersecurity, you literally got no motion if you don't do it, right? And then it's so demoralizing. People, once they can't get into cybersecurity, they give up on tech completely, right? I don't want you to give up on tech. Just get your foot in the door and move around from there. It's 10 times easier once you get your clearance and once you get experience. Tail said, "Give me 5 minutes. Let me see. Let me get my thing situated." Okay, yeah, I can invite you. Let me check. I think I can email it to you. Let me try and email it to you. I'm gonna email it to you, Tam. I think I should have your email. I know I got it from GovTechCon. Let me try and find it real quick. We got the GOAT in here. Y'all are in for a treat. I knew it was a reason that I was going live tonight. Let me get this. Let me get Tim's email. Trying to remember what it is like. Let me see. I think I can search it. Let me see. Oh, found her. All right, got it. All right. All right, Tim, I just emailed it to you. So whenever you're ready, can you transfer all your knowledge into my brain? Look, I'm working on something like that. Not like transferring it into your brain, but to where people can, like, access all the knowledge that I have at any time. Because yeah, I don't know. I definitely know a lot. I don't know everything, but I know a lot. And again, you only get here by putting in the work, right? Yeah, Jazz. I sent Tam the email. So whenever she's ready, she can get in. I like I said, I've only done a live stream using this, I think, once or twice. Twice? Yeah, twice. So this is my third time, but I've only had a guest once. So I think, if I remember how this works right. Did any of y'all watch the interview I did with Tameika from Women in Linux? If you didn't watch that, you need to go back and watch it. Did y'all watch it? What's my schedule like when trying to add a cert? Man, I just try to get certs as fast as possible if I need them, but I haven't needed a cert in years. So I haven't had to study for a cert in a while. Like, I would start and then I stop because I don't really need them. So the next time I'll actually need some certs, I think is going to be when I do my cybersecurity masters at WGU. So I want to get that knocked out hopefully in 3 months. So when it's time for me to study for certs, what I do is I study in the morning and I study in the afternoon. So I try to study at least 2 to 3 hours a day during the week. And then on the weekends, get up early on Saturday and Sunday and try to study for at least 5 hours both of those days. So then that way, you're getting in about 20 hours worth of study in a week. And then by the time a month and a half has gone by, you've already gotten in like close to 150, 140 hours, something like that. Uh, Frederico said, if you just watched it last week, you have to meet Tameika. Well, if you want to meet Tameika, then you need to come to GovTechCon, right? You want to meet Tameika, you need to come to GovTechCon. I'm a keep saying it, right? Make sure you come to GovTechCon. If you have not got your ticket yet, don't be hollering at me saying that GovTechCon is sold out, because last year we sold out, and this year we're definitely going to sell out again. And we haven't even announced all of our speakers. We haven't announced all of the events yet. We got so many things coming in, and all the companies, of course, right? We haven't announced everything yet. So again, once it sells out, it's sold out. So, wait, you said you shot me a text. Let me see. Did it work? I got two phones. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm gonna send the email to your other email. Hold on, give me a sec. Um, Give me a sec. But yeah, don't be crying this year when you miss it, because everybody was like, "Oh, I didn't get my ticket. Oh, it sold out." I'm like, "Look, you had 6 months to get your ticket, so I can't do nothing." All right, let me see. Um, okay. All right, I got you, Tam. CD said I watched that interview twice. So much game in it. Yes, yes. Watched it twice. Watched it twice. Look, so if you need your GovTechCon ticket, it's actually not early bird anymore, but you can get 20% off if you use code YT20 or YouTube20, and you can get your GovTechCon ticket. Again, it's September 11th through 13th, happening at the Gaylord National Convention Center, which is like 10 minutes from DC. So it's going to be big, it's going to be major. And then also, of course, as time goes by, tickets get more expensive. So if you know you want to come, I would say grab your ticket sooner than later, because like I said, once they're gone, they're gone. And that's pretty much going to be it. So I also want to pull up that YouTube video with Tameika as well. So let me see. So if y'all haven't watched this interview, you need to go watch it. Tameika probably in the room, but I can't see. Uh-oh. Oh, I done lost the screen. All right, there we go. Trying to make sure Tameika wasn't in here. Let me see. Yeah, so if you haven't seen this one, you need to watch it for sure. So this one right here, let me move myself out the way. How can I move myself up? Is it like this? No. There we go. So this one right here, you definitely need to watch it, right? On this one, this interview with Tameika, talk about like her journey, how she got into tech, how she got into Linux, how she got into GovTech, how she's been making over $250,000 a year for like decades, right? She's been crushing it for a very, very long time. So if you haven't seen it yet, definitely go watch this episode. Why Linux is the best tech skill to learn. She also has a free Linux group as well called Women in Linux, where you can learn Linux with her too. So definitely make sure you go watch that interview. And Tameika did an amazing, amazing workshop at GovTechCon last year. She literally did like a live mock interview right on the spot with some people in the crowd, taught people about Linux, taught people about the skills they need to learn, so that way they can earn over 200K a year too, and what they can really do to get started. So yeah. You said you don't see it. Let me see. Let me check again. Let me check again. Oh yeah, it does say it did not go through. Oh, okay, hold on. I left off a 0. My bad. Let me send it again. Okay, there we go. All right, there you go. Just sent it again. My bad. Let me see. What question in the cat? Somebody said, I'm just trying to get a job. I don't care if it's help desk or where it's located. Look, watch my free course right here on YouTube. All right, watch the free course right here on YouTube. Like I suggest you start with that. Watch the free course first. Let me find it. It's right here, right? Watch the free course first. Oh, this is my page. This is not my regular page. So let me see. Are they gonna hit me with 2 ads? What's this? I'm not used to ads. This is not my regular YouTube. So, like I said, go watch this course. This is my free GovTech course, right? How to land a GovTech job, right, in 2025 with no experience. Make sure you watch it, all right? So we got Tameika here. She's the GOAT, right? Women in Linux. Let me see if I can pull her up and then everything. Oh yeah, we should be able to do this. Let's see.
What's
There we
going
go.
on? Can
How
y'all
you
hear me?
doing? How you doing?
I'm
Yeah.
awesome. I'm chilling. How about yourself?
Look, we haven't talked in a little minute, but I'm in Texas now and picked up another contract. So you know me.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
So we don't know how long I'm gonna be here. Mhm.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
You overseas now, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be going short term overseas. So hopefully I leave maybe next month. We're gonna see. So this one's more flexible. So I can do like backfill for people that want to go on PTO. Anytime like our systems go out, I'll go out there, do different testing,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Yeah. And then so yeah, I'll be
So
doing
like
that short term.
almost like a trainer.
Not like a trainer. Like when the systems go out there, we need to verify everything's right before like they're
Mm-hmm.
fully operational. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So going out there and verifying that all the systems are all good to go, and
Got
then
you.
I'll go back home. Yeah. So but short term contracts gonna be between 30 to 90 days.
Got you. Sorry about the lighting. I'm sitting downstairs
Oh, you
at,
good?
at my mom's crib. So I was sitting here and I was filling out some paperwork and I saw you online. I was like, let me see what they're talking about. And then my homeboy was sitting here and we were talking about insurance and financial wealth and wealth accumulation and so forth. And I was like, oh, let me hop on. So here I am.
Yes, yes. Well, we're definitely super excited to have you here. Let me see if I want to make sure your name pop up. There we go. Let me
Got
see. I
you.
want to make sure your name pop up so they see.
Got you.
All right. Yeah, yeah. So,
Let me see. Make sure I'm straight. Yeah.
so I don't know what you want to talk about. I just brought you up here
Hey,
because I see you. What you
anything.
seeing?
What I seen. You know what? You know what I just saw a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm?
It's B BSNF Railroad.
What's
So
that?
the railroads are hiring for infrastructure engineers, and the salary range was from 250 to 406. And so
Hmm.
I've been looking at. I was like, oh, let me go look at all the railroads uh, to see who's hiring and what they're talking about. So
They
I've been
platform engineer roles.
yeah. So there, one is platform, one is a staff software engineer, another one's a DevSecOps engineer. I think they had about 5 or 6 of them that came up. Let me look at my email. I saw them on Indeed. Is what I
Yeah, I know
saw
you.
them.
You be on D with it. I'm trying to.
I be everywhere. So
I know. Look, people are like, where the jobs at? I mean, they definitely everywhere. So Indeed, clearance jobs, Dice, LinkedIn,
yep,
Monster, wherever.
yep. I
Let
try
me
to
see.
I try to go everywhere.
Is
Yeah,
this the
that
site?
yeah,
BSNF,
yeah, yep, yep,
BNSF,
yeah, yep, yep,
BNSF. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And if you look up let me see if I can find the actual name
Here go right
for
here. This it right here.
yeah.
Or
Yeah, I see. See, they took the thing out, and they were remote. So infrastructure engineer. Let's see. I took see that took
They
the
took the
range
amount
down.
off of there.
No, I took that range down. So the
Oh, there,
range
go right
is
there.
right there.
Dang.
See, there you go. 243 to 406.
Look, people, you look, Tameika. Somebody would just ask me in the chat. They like, how you gonna get the $200,000 base salary without 10 years of experience? The jobs are out there. People
Right.
just don't know how to find them. They don't have the confidence. They think you need 10 years of experience. It's about getting the right skill set and the in-demand skills. What can you tell people?
So there's a couple of things. It's not just the skill sets. It is also the job, right? So right, like this job right here, right? 243 to 406. With this job, you go union, right? And it take you 5 years to go union. And they do 25 cents on the dollar into your 401k plus, depending on I think how you come in, they'll do 8% of your total comp. And then the other one, the other way you come in, they'll do 4% of your total comp. So it's not just the skill set, it's the job that you're choosing as well. And that's why I always talk about being strategic about the job. It's cool. Listen, a lot of people gonna get mad with me when I say this. The 3%, 4% is cute into your 401k, right? If they do a match or whatever, that's cute. But when you're talking about you want to move the needle, when you're talking about moving the needle, get someone that's putting in 10% of your total comp into your 401k every year, 15% of your total comp into your 401k every year, 25%. I think Delta does 10.
Miter
The,
Miter does 10.
right. So now you start talking about 10% of, let's say, 250,000. That's from the employer, and that's what people don't realize. That's from the employer. You still got your 23,000 that's going in. So in a year, you could be on a job, and it could be into your 401k 50,000 a year into your 401k on one
Look,
job.
look, it's kind of crazy, like how you can really build wealth with tech, right? But a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't think about it that way, right? They don't think about like, dang, how can I get to the jobs that's paying me 200, 300, 400K? How can I get to the companies that are they really invest into the employees with their 401K, with the educational assistance, right? Tuition
Mm-hmm.
reimbursement, just upskilling
Conferences.
their employees. Yeah, conferences, like that's where you want to get to with your tech career, right? You want to get to the
Mm-hmm.
point where you're looking at these top companies, right? Like I've heard people tell me like, "Oh, well, it's too hard to get a job with the Northrop Grummons, the GDs, the Raytheons, the Lockheeds." I'm like, these companies employ 200,000 people. Like, if you got the experience, if you got
Listen,
the certs, I mean, you can get into these places, but it's a mental block that they have.
well, not only that, I don't. This is my thing. I don't know why everybody always forget. There is the NGs and there's the subs to NGs, right? So then you can go backdoor it and be a sub at a smaller company that's gonna have NG hold your clearance. You sit with them for a year, maybe two, then you shoot off and go somewhere else, right? But now you got experience and you got the clearance, right? And so now the it's really up to you on how you're gonna move. And I think people forget, like, you need to be strategic in your movement and then understand where the actual money is actually flowing, right? I've said it before, I say it again. The whole
Follow the
thing,
money.
follow the money, satellites,
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure, edge computing, high performance computing, research,
Radars, missile defense.
radars, missile defense. That
Get
that
out the
that
stuff that's dying.
yeah, that stuff is. I mean, the if we're talking about 1 trillion for a budget for DoD, 1 trillion for a budget, go argue with somebody uh, on a podcast about. I ain't gonna say it, but anyway, um, like I'm
Look,
just saying,
I don't know if you see me on Twitter. I've been literally like spazzing out about this. I'm like, $1 trillion budget just for the Pentagon. Dubai, $1 trillion budget
$1 trillion
invested
budget.
into the US, into their infrastructure, their AI and data center infrastructure over
Yep.
10 years. I showed this program earlier today. I don't know if you saw this. Where's it at? I don't know if you saw this, Tameika. Shield. I ain't even had seen it
Yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah. I saw the shield stuff. Mm-hmm.
151 billion.
Mm-hmm.
This came
Yeah.
out 5 days ago. Like there is
But
so much money flowing right now. Follow the money. That's where the jobs are. Recon asked, "Where are you finding these jobs at?"
it's right there in your face. So
Yeah.
151 billion for that. So who is the prime? Who are the
Hmm.
who actually is winning on those contracts, or who won on those contracts? Like that shield, that delivery, that IDIQ is all the people are already out there. You're late.
Hmm.
They've already awarded that. So
Uh
who are the
huh.
companies? Who are the subs to those companies? And then go from there. That BNSF Railway Recon that came to me in my email. I have filters on Indeed, the letters, Dice, ZipRecruiter, levels, all of them, and I have those locations only give me jobs that are paying 300,000 and more, and then I have it also set for 200,000 to 300,000. So I get those in between, and then I have that sit to me all day, every day, and then I follow that up with, okay, well, what is that? Is that job remote? Is that job? Do you need to be on site? Here's the other thing too that I think people also like really get things confused.
Please get into it.
If they told me that they need to, I'm gonna make 400 and I need to be on site 2 days a week in the state of Virginia in Hampton Roads, I'm gonna pack up my bags and I'm gonna move to Hampton Roads and I'm gonna sit like the little dude, hype me up, hype me up,
Hey,
hype me
look.
up.
How do
I'm
you think I
moving.
got to El Paso? People like El Paso, bro. Wherever the bag is at, that's where I'm at. Y'all got too many stipulations. Wherever the bag is at, that's where I'm at. Period.
At the end of the day, see, this is the other thing that people also kind of forget: planes, trains, and automobiles. Right? If there is a flight I can catch that's direct to the location of where I need to go, I'm going. I'm catching
Everything
the
is one
flight.
flight away. That's it.
One flight,
Everything's
one
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 flight away.
one skill away, one flight away. That's it. So I'm moving. I don't, I
Look,
don't, I don't,
me and
I don't
you, we
have
on the
time.
same time. We on the same time. That I have the same mindset as you. People like I can't just get up and move. And I know people have kids and things like that. Of course, if it's in the school year, things like that. But for me, somebody was like, "Well, are kids going to stop the way that you move?" I personally don't think so. Right? Like I think my mindset is more along the lines of I go where the mission needs me to go. Right? And it's
Hmm.
it's more kind of like I don't have no choice, right? This is where the bag is. This is where the mission's at. My family's coming with me, right? And
Hmm.
that's just how it is for me. So it's not really like I can't do it. I can't move. Again, I think this comes back down to like mindset, right? Because these companies will pay for your relocation. They will pay for your spouse to even find a new job wherever you move at. If they have to find a new job, they help you with like your kids. They help you with all of that, right? So that way you can reacclimate really quickly.
Right.
And they pay really good relocation bonuses too.
Right. And the other piece to the moving as well is a lot of people like, well, I got all this furniture and I got all this and I got all of that, and I don't know, we just got it like right into your contract that you just move into an apartment and you got to break your lease. Make that part of your sign-on bonus.
Hmm.
Pay for me to break my lease, right? Pay for that. I need to move out there, and I also need, I call it the starter kit. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. You really like, especially once obviously if you're not like entry level, right? You really shouldn't be coming out of pocket to move or anything like that. Like unless you're trying to get a clearance, right? Then you might have to make that sacrifice that first one. Try to do something that's not going to be too crazy for you. But outside of that, like once you get established in your career, you should not be coming out of pocket for relocations, coming out of pockets for breaking leases, coming out of pockets for paying back sign-on bonuses, like
Hmm.
none of that, right? All of that can be negotiated.
Right. I mean, like I said before, I said this before on my lives. I said it before in my on my meetups. I've seen people get their leases paid for on their Mercedes. I've seen people get their down
Now you're
payments
talking
for
about
their
laying it. Hold
house.
on now.
I've seen people get get their kids private tuition paid for, their PhD, their master's degree. I got my master's degree for free. I've seen people get their whole, oh, let me go buy the Red Hat learning subscription for you. That's been taken care of. Or I mean, and when the learning subscription is $6,000 just off the rip, right? So it's I like, I don't know why we arguing about stuff. Like is the money is out there. Get the skills. I always tell people stay infrastructure and stay technical. You'll have a long career in the DoD space. You can chop that up how you want to, from satellite space, missiles,
It's all infrastructure.
research. It's all infrastructure,
Mm-hmm.
right? So.
Yeah, that I agree with you. And the bag is just it's never ending. I just put that in the chat, right? The GovTech money is
Hmm.
never ending. It's not going anywhere. I said it earlier in this live, I think maybe about 2 hours ago. But if I
Hmm.
had to bet my last dollar on the roles that are going to be here, even after AI and everything, it's going to be government, military, just like you said, infrastructure, railroad, planes. Is going to be here forever, right? And that all
Hmm.
intersects with GovTech, all of it,
Hmm.
right? So I
Hmm.
think people don't really realize, like what you said, right? Like railroads, that's government. That's government owned stuff, right?
Hmm.
Like that's
Hmm.
not just some private company. That's government owned. And then you also have like the transportation industry, all runs through the
Hmm.
government, right?
Hmm.
And then of course everything with GovTech, all of this is running through the government. So if I had to bet my last dollar, I'm betting on clearances and GovTech. That's where I'm
Yeah,
putting my money at.
I just saw a job come over not too long ago for Huntsville. They looking for a DevSecOps engineer, and it was 200K in
In
Huntsville.
Huntsville,
Mm-hmm.
like people been telling me the Huntsville salary is getting up to 250,
Mm-hmm.
300, depending on, what type of work you do, what type of roles that you're going after. And then also, something that you had said earlier, I'm the same way, right? Like I had said this too. Like if you tell yourself, hey, I'm not taking less than X, that's what it is, right? You said that you have your job searches only tell you about jobs that's paying 350 plus or
Mm-hmm.
250 plus. That's all
Mm-hmm.
you see in your inbox. So you don't see
Mm-hmm.
all the lower paying jobs. And when
No.
you only apply to these high paying jobs, you're only going to get these high paying jobs, right? So
Yeah.
I think when it comes to people being in the interview process, once they know they want to make high salaries, but if a recruiter comes and like, hey, all we can pay you is 90K, people they'll take anything. They'll be like, okay, I really want this, but all right, let me keep going through the interview process and let me just keep doing it, maybe see if they'll come up. But no, when they cannot fit, when they can't come up, or they don't have the budget to pay you what they want, you need to just stop the interview process right there. Let them know, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, reach back out to me once you have a role that fits my salary requirements. And that's
Mm-hmm.
it.
And the only way you're gonna get there is you gotta have confidence and money saved up. So,
Facts. Because you got to be picky. Like to be
yeah.
to be
Yeah.
picky, you need to have money saved up, and you need to be in that position. And that's why I say, like, when people are trying to make a transition into a new career, they being too picky. You can't be
Mm-hmm.
that picky when you don't have experience, you don't have a clearance, you don't have anything to back up being that picky.
Yeah, you gotta have. I mean, you do have to have money saved up. That's why I say save your sign-on bonus. All right. So that way, whenever
Thanks.
you want to dip, you can dip. You and let your sign-on bonus make work for you, right? Throw it in a high yield savings account, 5%. Let it make some money for you while you're sitting out there. I don't care. You throw it in the Bitcoin, but whatever the case may be, you throw it in the crypto, whatever. I'm just simply saying that have the money that you're receiving always working, right? That money should always be working, right? You shouldn't be like, I gotta wait till I get paid to pay my bills. Nah, your bills is already paid for. Your bills is already paid for a month in advance. You're waiting you're waiting for the next deposit to hit so you can make some investments into something else, right? But again, in order to get there, you can't be in the mindset of I'm going after the $50,000 job. And I'll get slack for this. It's all good. I could take the hit because I see people on YouTube talking about y'all don't want to help people get start. 50,000 is a good salary. 80,000 is a good salary. I'm not saying it's not. I just know it's more out there. And I just
Hmm.
know in certain places, if you're in the DMV area, if you're in Dallas, if you're in Houston, and you want to be safe and you want to live nice and not have to worry about commuting, you you gonna need some money. Uh, I don't know what else to tell you. You just gonna need some money.
Yeah, yeah. And I just think that a lot of people just stay in the same roles and stay in the same salary range for
Mm-hmm.
too
Too
long,
long.
right? Too long. And
Mm-hmm.
the only way you won't get to the higher salary ranges is like literally what we talking about. Like, okay, you've been making 70, 80K, right? But you want to get to, I don't know, the 130, 150K range, right? It's time
Mm-hmm.
to make a change. Start looking for those roles and figuring out, okay, like what are you currently doing in your job now that you can use to either maybe reposition the skills that you already have, right? Because a lot of these people are in jobs and they're doing way more that's outside of their job description, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just about taking what you're already doing, repositioning yourself, and then going after these higher paying jobs, right? But I think especially people that have already have years of experience, like you at some point need to figure out what your niche is going to be, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
lot of
Mm-hmm.
people they think I'm in cybersecurity. I'm a radar system engineer. Like I don't know how many times I gotta say that. Like I do
Mm-hmm.
information assurance work. I do some cybersecurity work, vulnerability scans and stuff like that. But I'm not a cybersecurity engineer, right? My niche is radars, right? That's my niche,
Mm-hmm.
right? You gotta at some point niche down into something, and that's where the
Mm-hmm.
real money comes at.
Mm-hmm. And infrastructure is broad. You can be on the virtualization side, you could be on the Kubernetes side, you could be on the OpenShift side, you could be on the platform side, observability. You could get into uh, security. You could get into security of Kubernetes, security containers, cloud security, cloud. I mean, it's just so many different things that you could touch. Now, when you start getting into that specialty, you just need to remember that that's the specialty, but there's still a whole bunch of other things up here. So that way, when you come back up for air, you don't forget those things
Yeah.
because those things still pay you, right?
Hmm.
But also remember that your specialty is what you decided to hone in on is really what's paying you. You just got to remember that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I don't know. I see a couple questions in the chat too. I see a couple of questions in the chat. Still, let me see. Let me see. Do you need to learn how to code? Can you explain Red Hat a little bit more? I guess.
Yeah, coding the that can go a ton of different ways. So there's infrastructure as code, and then there is just your regular programmer, or I'll say scripter as well too. So when I think programming, I'm thinking, hey, you're using something like Java, Rust, Python, maybe even C++ or C. And then when I think you're doing scripting, you may do a script, you may use Python, you may use the Z shell, the corn shell, to script something out. You could probably even throw Rust in there if you wanted to. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
hit or miss on that one. Go is another one as well. And then when you start talking about infrastructure as code, now we're getting into Terraform, Ansible, Puppet, Chef, SaltStack, any type of automation tools, configuration management tools, or what that. So that's the game. Start talking about programming. I don't even know how I forgot to leave. I left out Ruby, but again, those are the things when I think about programming. So when you say, do you need to code? Yes, but what if you're talking infrastructure? That may be Python, Rust, Terraform, Ruby, and then some type of configuration management tool like Ansible or Chef or Puppet, right? So those are things to when you're looking at that perspective.
Yeah, definitely. So there's tons and tons of skills that you can learn, tons that you can get into. And I really feel like you really don't learn what's in demand, and you really don't learn like what the market is looking for until you start studying these job descriptions. Like you
Mm-hmm.
got to start looking at them, right? You got to spend time on these job boards. You got to like start filtering, start looking, start seeing what the recruiters are posting about, especially on LinkedIn. Like whatever recruiters are constantly posting about, that's typically what's in demand, right? They're not
Mm-hmm.
really begging for certain roles where like they can easily get people. I mean, some recruiters, right, they'll post like help desk jobs, things like that, but they'll typically fill them extremely fast, right? But
Mm-hmm.
until you actually start looking at job descriptions and start seeing what skills you need, you're gonna just really kind of like struggle. And then you also got to start networking in person too, right? Like talking to the people that are in the position you want to be at, and then even like just coming onto these YouTube live streams, coming out to the conferences like GovTechCon, whatever, B sides, DEF CON. Red Hat has their own conference. That's something that people overlook a ton, right?
They just had their
Whatever.
conference.
Yep, exactly. They just had their conference, but like whatever it is that you specialize in, you need to be attending their conferences, right? Like go to
Mm-hmm.
those conferences, go network with the people, and they
Mm-hmm.
openly talk about money. They openly talk about the contracts they have, whether it's 1099 or government contracts, or where the that skill set or specific niche is headed to. You got to get out there. You got to put the work in.
Mm-hmm. And then the other part of it is how do you quantify your skill set, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people miss out, whether they're young or old, they've been in the game. They're not sure how to quantify their skill. I think
Right,
that's one
right.
of the harder things to do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they don't know how to quantify it, but then it also comes back to like not really knowing what value it has to, because these
Mm-hmm.
companies, they'll make you feel like your skills have no value, right? Because they
Mm-hmm.
want you to stay exactly where you at. Like they want you to
Mm-hmm.
feel like you can't go anywhere. It's like a mental warfare, and it's kind of crazy because a lot of companies do that.
A lifer.
Dre
You
said,
are a lifer.
"You said what?"
You are a lifer. People
Mm-hmm.
like work at Raytheon and or RTX and all those companies for 15, 20, 30 years. They're lifers. They're never
Mm-hmm.
leaving that company.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Dre, he got this question here. Thanks for this super chat, Dre. What's the time frame people with no experience are looking at for a desktop role, and how is Doge affecting slash will affect the GovTech job market? You
So I'll take,
want?
yeah, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
So the time frame, people with no experience, I think most people, and this is just me, you're looking at the on the DoD side for help desk roles, which is nothing wrong with that. But you also have to remember DoD works with hosting companies as well too. So your HostGators, your Cloudflares, your Rack Spaces, all they also have networks, or I should say high side, low side networks on some of those companies. And and we also forget that you can get help desk jobs working at the college. And
Mm-hmm.
those colleges work with the federal government. Georgia Tech literally
Mm-hmm.
works with the federal government,
And they sponsor clearances
and they
too.
sponsor clearances too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just understanding how to backdoor things to get what you want, and also at the same time get free training. But yeah, I would look as far as like how does Doge affect the GovTech job market. I mean, we've seen the cuts, but I honestly I have not seen the cuts on the infrastructure side. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen like people like, oh, we're shutting down this data center over here for the government.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, like on the radar side, I haven't seen it at all. Like not even at all. So like one of the programs, like I was talking to the site director and she was like, yeah, one of our programs got Doge for 2 weeks and then they immediately realized they needed it back and then we've been in full swing and we've hired 30 other people ever since then. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I mean, it really just kind of just tell like it's kind of a sign of where you need to be headed, right? If you're working in a program or you're working in a sector within GovTech that like is heavily affected by Doge, you should like that should be your wake up sign that hey, I need to pivot. I need to be focusing on some different technologies, some different tools,
Mm-hmm.
different programs, maybe even completely different like specific, I guess, subsector within GovTech, right? Whether it's infrastructure, radar, SATCOM, something, but follow the money, right? Follow the
Mm-hmm.
money. If you don't know
Mm-hmm.
where the money is flowing to, you don't know what's in demand. And the easiest way to follow the money is literally, to me, is just going to news.clearancejobs.com. They post all the different contracts that are being awarded every
Mm-hmm.
single day. Like literally, they're posting them all the time. So like, because
Fed
everybody
scoop,
don't know how
Fed
to
scoop as
do.
well.
Yep, Fed Scoop as well. So let me pull them up real quick just so people can see them. But let me see. Yep. So we got you got news.clearancejobs. I think this is gonna be one. Uh, what's going on here? Okay, there we go. I don't know, maybe they changed that hyperlink or something. But yeah, come to news.clearancejobs.com. They literally are posting different contracts being awarded all the time. And then they have it by like, different categories and things like that. So literally you can come over here and just look at everything. And then you also have Fed Scoop as well, which has a bunch of different like subset of other type of scoops. So it's just all different
Mm-hmm.
type of news, right? So you got Fed Scoop, AI Scoop, Defense Scoop, Cyber Scoop, State Ed Scoop, right? So they got it all here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, y'all need to be looking at these sites and seeing what is happening right now, right? Like to me, in my opinion, the blow from Doge has already happened, right? And I was even talking to the people over at Clearance Jobs, and they said that they have had more jobs posted in 2025 than 2024 at that same time. This is about 3 weeks ago. So Doge
I ain't
happened.
surprised.
Yep, and they have seen more job postings this year than last year. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're still focused on Doge, you might not make it. Like you're just kind of like looking for excuses to not do something because you're seeing these $1 trillion headlines come by and you're still worried about Doge. Doge is not even a it's not even an
Yeah,
issue at
they're still
all.
hiring. They're
They're
still hiring.
hiring, they're spending money. Like the money is not stopping. If anything, they done ramped up the spending.
Mm-hmm. I can say they're around, and budgets is coming out in October. People
Mm-hmm.
ramping up for positions and jockeying right now. Once we hit September, people gonna like start making offers, cause then,
Uh-huh.
cause then,
GovTechCon gonna be lit.
yeah, cause then they gonna start. They're trying to get people in the door day one in
October
October.
1. We need you working. It's so
No, so when you
funny.
say you're gonna be here, oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
somebody asked about software, the difference between software engineering, software design. Let's put it like this: implementation versus architecture. The software engineer, I look at that person as they're going to implement what the software designer has architected. Meaning, I've designed this software architecture. Here's the blueprint. You engineer, you go and make that happen. That's the easiest way to describe that. I hope that makes sense. Jazz Tucker asks, how heavily does social media affect your clearance eligibility? Because I've seen really critical about Doge. I've been really critical about Doge. Um, when you're talking about Doge, and I mean just in general, let's just be clear. They'll tell you lock your social media down. Don't do this. Don't do that. We're not on here talking about, on on my TS side today. I logged into blah blah blah. We're not talking about that. So of course, don't go on social media talking about that. What you saw, what have you. Um, I try to steer clear of any projects that I'm working on in a
Hmm.
direct way. I may talk about oh, we're looking at architecture, and then here's how I'm studying to get up ramped up the speed on architecture, and here are the steps that I'm taking, right? But that doesn't give you any type of clue of what I'm doing in that job per se, but it gives you an idea of how I'm doing it, right? How I study, how I'm preparing myself. Listen, and I told y'all this before. I tell you again, my goal in my position is to be an assassin. I'm there to excuse the language. I'm there to murk everything in sight. That's it. Right? So I'm coming in and I wanna be the best. I'm going to prepare. I'm going to study. I'm a student of the game. I am going to read. When people This is the one thing I said before, I say it again, people don't read. When people don't read, that's your advantage. When people don't that's your advantage. When people don't want to implement, that's your advantage. If they don't want to stay that extra hour, you stay that extra hour. You knock it out, right? Take notes on what you do. Always be prepared. Always looking for better ways to improve yourself and automate yourself, right? And after you do that for so long, it just becomes a thing for you. It's just like you could look at a job, you could look at a job description, you can know whether or not that job out of that job description if you want to deal with those people or not. They tell you in the job description what's going on. You look at
They
it and you
do.
say you look at it and you say whether or not you want to deal with it, right? Oh, okay, well they're
Right.
paying 400,000. Why they paying 400,000? What's going on there? Something happened. All right, cool. I may have to put up with some BS. So let me go ahead and insulate myself and be sharp and learn how to ask questions. Don't make no assumptions. Ask some questions. Do your research. That is really that simple.
Yeah, that's how you gotta do it, right? You gotta outwork everybody, right? I tell people that this career stuff, it is a competition, right? It's a competition for sure. You need to be beating out the competition from interviews to when you get on a job to after you leave the job, making sure you keep that network, have that, person that you can reach back out to if you need to, right? Get advice, or maybe you need to come back one day, recommendation, referral, whatever it might be. But it's all a competition, and you just got to put in the work. And somebody asked, where do we currently work and are they hiring? I personally don't talk about where I work. I wouldn't suggest Tameika to talk about where she works either. Everybody is hiring. Everybody is hiring. Like, no exaggeration. Everybody is hiring. All you got
Uh,
to do is go on a clearance jobs
I'll
and
say
you'll see
this.
it yourself. Yeah.
I'll say this. Wherever there's a military base, there are government contractors, and wherever there's a military base, they're hiring. So, what companies are around that military base, right? Which ones do you want to work at? So, you got military bases in the Maryland, DC, DMV area. You got them in San Antonio. You got them in Florida. You got them in California. they're hiring everywhere.
Literally,
I say it
literally.
that way.
Everybody's hiring, right? So if you come on Clearance Job, do search for jobs, right? Right now there's 47,000 jobs up here, which is lower than usual. They usually have about 60K jobs, but like I said before, they said that they've seen more job postings this year than they have last year. And then also a lot of these job postings get taken down very quickly. Like a job
Mm-hmm.
might get posted tomorrow and it's gone within 2 weeks because they done already hired somebody. Like they do not move slowly in GovTech, right? When it comes to government contractors, I know a lot of y'all talk about the federal government and USA jobs. Me and Tameika, we don't prefer to work for the federal government contractor because we're after the big money. You're going to get capped salary wise
On those
really
GS
low in
jobs.
comparison, right? Yeah, I mean, you're going to get capped at GS 15, right? And when you're working with government contractor companies or companies that support the government, your salary potential is way higher than that. So, federal government's never going to pay me what I can make with government contractor companies. But if y'all are trying to figure out who's hiring, where are they hiring, just come on to Clearance Jobs. It's the easiest way. Come on to Clearance Jobs, hit state, and look, you'll see all the different states that have jobs posted. Alabama has 1,500 jobs, California 4,200, Colorado 2,200. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see. DC 2,500, Florida 2,700, Georgia 866. Most of these jobs are going to require you to have a full scope polygraph clearance. So that's the only thing about Georgia. You got Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, right? You got all these different states. Obviously, Maryland 6,400 is probably gonna have the most amount of jobs up here. Massachusetts 1,100. Yeah, North Carolina, right? There's jobs everywhere. Virginia has the most, 11,000. Yeah, 11,000 in Virginia. But there's jobs all over here. Texas. Come on to Clearance Jobs and look around, right? That's why I keep saying to everybody, like, come look, start looking at the job boards, start looking at these roles, right? If you are entry
Mm-hmm.
level and you want to get into like infrastructure type of stuff, right? The easiest way to go about it, there's two different ways, right? If you want to get into like Linux infrastructure, your Security Plus and your Red Hat certified sysadmin. If you want to take it a step further, you have the RHCE, which is the Red Hat certified engineer, which will teach you more Ansible. But everybody's not cut out to just go straight to that, right? That's just the reality of it. So if
Mm-hmm.
you aren't cut out to go and bang out like and learn these Red Hat skills as well, focus on the Security Plus. Get you an
Mm-hmm.
entry level help desk role or IT technician role or IT support, IT analyst role. They're all pretty much the same thing for the most part. Get you an entry level help desk role, and then from there, you'll get sponsored from your clearance. And then once you get in, start learning everything, start getting experience, then start focusing on wherever you want to go next. You want to focus on Linux, get those certs, get the experience, get the skills, then job hop into like a Linux sysadmin role 6 to 8 months
Mm-hmm.
later, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the move. First job, get your clearance. Second job, go wherever you want to go, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
within 6 to 8 months. That's the roadmap.
Here's the other skill set that just as a Linux admin that you're gonna work with. There's two of them. One is
Yeah.
containers, and the other one is VMware. In the chat
Mm-hmm.
in the back, I posted a VMware job. That it's a staff. This has nothing to do with clearance or whatnot. I'm just showing skill sets and the possibility of skill sets. Um, is VMware going anywhere? Broadcom bought them. A lot of people are jumping ship from VMware. Some people are staying because that's just what it is. They're locked in. I'm just trying to show you just the differences in them. Like the one VMware job that I had posted back, that VMware job, where's it at? That one is, hold on, I posted it in the private chat. Let me pull it up on mine.
Oh, you want me to put it
Uh,
up here?
yeah, so it's a senior staff and a senior staff VMware system administrator, and it's in Annapolis Junction, Maryland, and it's paying 171 to 277.
Where is that? I'm tripping over here. There we go.
Right
Let's
there.
see. So
That's the
Annapolis
first one.
Junction is for me.
That's
Oh,
the
you
other
didn't
one.
put the other one?
Uh huh.
Let me get the other one. This one? There we go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right there.
Y'all see
Right.
that?
And
We on
and that
Indeed.
the senior staff VMware system administrator. So if you are working with VMware, you're probably building out the infrastructure. It's probably bare metal. You're probably working with people, so you're gonna do probably a little bit of everything. You're probably gonna do some DNS. You're probably gonna work with some networks. You're probably gonna do some VLANs. You're going to build out some VMs. You're going to use some automation. You're going to work with some Linux. You're going to work with some Windows. You're probably going to work with some security. And truth be told, you may work with a team of people, and your only focus is the Linux part, or your only focus is the actual image part, or creating the images. It really depends on how they laid it out. But I also want to show where it says staff. That means there is another position after that called principal
Mm-hmm.
that pays more than the staff,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So you see staff and you see the range on staff, but you may be you may be a guru and you may come in as principal. So now imagine what your range is on that, right? So your skill sets in infrastructure can run a, a vast array, but I just want to get people to understand that you may learn Linux, but you may also learn VMware, and you may learn Linux, and you may learn Kubernetes or
Yeah, I
security
mean,
or
and I mean, at this
networking.
point in time, there's no way that you're not going to learn those things as well on the job, right? But
Right.
it all is going to start with Linux, right? And you're going
Mm-hmm.
to get exposed to these other
Naturally.
technologies naturally, right? So that's why we just try to keep it simple. Because if you tell
Mm-hmm.
somebody, oh, you got to learn Linux, you got to learn VMware, you got to learn
Mm-hmm.
networking,
Mm-hmm.
people will never get started. So just once you get your security plus, if you want to get into infrastructure, get the Red Hat certified sysadmin. And along that journey, you're going to quickly find Ansible. You're going to quickly
Mm-hmm.
see, oh, Kubernetes. Oh, shoot, I need to learn about VMware too, right? And these things, if you can master, or just, you don't even got to master Linux. If you can learn Linux, you can learn all these other tools and
Mm-hmm.
technologies too.
If you know how to read.
Yes, facts. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Let's answer Drew's question before we show this other role. This is getting good. This is getting real good. Look, so Drew Minotti said, when working in the tech fields, are you required to know everything you learn when passing the certs, or do they train candidates? So I'm thinking this more as kind of like entry level.
So when working in tech fields, are you required to know everything? No, but you are required to have some understanding and comprehension of what is being presented to you, right? So you're not gonna off the rip. Nobody's is expecting you to know something within 2 days, but within 2 weeks, I'm expecting you to have some retention of what I taught or what we talked about. I'm expecting you to have some type of notes and some organization, and I'm expecting you to start exploring and advancing yourself, meaning you're a self-starter, meaning you do some research, meaning you know how, meaning at some point you can also go back in and train someone else. And that's how you really, like, if you don't know, if you know something, do a lunch and learn with your team for 30 minutes on what you've learned about what you've done, and what the next steps are, and you'll see your team be like, oh, okay, so you are learning something, you are retaining something. I like the way you took notes, I like the way you presented that topic. Now you're starting to command the learning and the training process.
I like that. I like that for sure. Like for people, when I always say like your first 90 days, you need to ask questions, but if it's like something basic, please go to Google first, right? When you first start out a job, especially in GovTech, you need to get all the documentation that you can. ask them for everything. Hey, where's all the documentation at? They're
Mhm.
going to be more entry level. They might not need to know the architecture and the con ops and all of that type of
Mhm.
stuff,
Mhm.
but try to get as much documentation as you can that's going to pertain to your job. Read through it, right? First 30 days, you're just reading. You're just reading, soaking up information. And if you feel like your question is a something that you feel like you should know, if it's too basic, please go to Google before you go to other people, because you don't want to get in there and they're like, man, this person, you should know this, right? You don't want to, but once you start learning, get up to speed, right? And then you also, like, you should be going home and doing some more homework too, especially if you feel like, yo, like, I'm in here now, there's a lot of stuff I don't know. You need to be labbing nonstop, going home, learning, go on to YouTube, look up these labs. Maybe you might need to buy a little $20 Udemy course, I don't know. Whatever you need to do what you need to do to get up to speed as quickly as possible, because those first 90 days are going to be crucial for you.
Mhm.
And then taking notes with the notebook, like you said, Tamika. Buy a fresh new notebook, something that you
Mhm.
can carry around with you everywhere, and it don't need to be big, because you need to be able to really carry it around. Maybe, I don't know, for me, I'm in the field, mine can't be too big. So
Mhm.
but yeah, but you definitely got to have your notes, have everything, be organized, like you said, Tamika, and then make sure that you, like, save every important SharePoint. Like, you don't want to be that person that 2 months down the line, you still asking, hey, what's that link to the SharePoint again? I can't find this and that. You need to get all that stuff down packed, like, within the first 30 days.
And I want to add one other thing, because
Uh-huh.
this is I think the most important thing. You need to learn how to study people.
Mm.
And the reason why I say that is because you need to know who do the work and who is piggybacking off of people doing the work. The people that's doing the
Mm-hmm.
work, you need to know 9 times out of 10, they got a network and they know who they need to talk to get their job done. The people that's piggybacking off of them, they ain't doing no work. They can't help you. They don't know nothing. And you need to understand that. Because you could be on I'm telling you, you could be on a team of 10 people and only 3 people do work.
Well, that's that 80/20 rule right there. That's that 80/20 rule. It's always at work, right? So, like,
Hmm.
most of anything that's done is done by, like, or 20% of people get like 80% of the work done, or 20%,
Hmm.
like, that 80/20 rule. So
Hmm.
it's usually not, the vast majority is not doing that much. But
Hmm.
that was a great question, Drew. Now let's check out this other role that you have on here too. Let's check out this other role as well.
So this is just a
I know I
role.
have this.
So you see
Mm-hmm.
it Shield AI first off. And it's in Dallas. So my first thing
Uh-huh.
would be like, who is Shield AI and what other positions do they have? And they're
I just
located in
interviewed with
Dallas,
them. I just
right?
interviewed with them. Mm-hmm.
Right. So again, I'm just pointing out. Okay, you may not apply for this job, but you see this company. What do they do? What else is located around them? Because they can't be the only ones in Dallas, right? What do they do? And on top of that, who do they work with outside of just them? That's it. I'm just you don't have to go for this job. I'm just saying, what do they do? What industry are they in? What other
It's a
companies are
GovTech
in the
company.
industry? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a GovTech startup, and they're focusing on AI, and AI enablement within the, like, government technology space. And I don't know exactly what this principal engineer role does, but somebody was asking about tech sales. This is not a tech sale role. This is an engineering role. But when I interviewed for them, I was interviewing for a senior solutions engineer role, which is
Hmm.
a tech sales role within engineering, but it's more engineering focused. So I was interviewing for that, but I had got another role. So I had made it to the second round interview, but I just stopped their interview process. But this company right here is a company you need to be paying attention to. They are giving out stocks, pre-IPO stocks. They haven't IPO'd yet. They're probably like one of the top five, like, GovTech companies up and coming right now. When it comes to, like, Palantir and Duro, Shield AI might be number three. Like, they are serious right now.
Boom. What's the first question they ask you? Do you have experience in Linux? It's
Facts. No, literally, literally.
That's literally the first question they ask, and it's a couple of reasons. Again, like I said, why I wanted to showcase this. Not to say that you should go fill out this. I'm just pointing out. Here's the range,
Mm-hmm.
the location in Dallas, military bases in that area, and what do they do? Right now, again feeding breadcrumbs to yourself, and now you can go and say, okay, well, I see they ranges on there. Again, we saw staff, and now here's the principal at another location from 264 to 396. And
Mm-hmm.
you said they're pre-IPO, so I guess you'll get some ISOs from them for
RSUs. You get some
they
RSUs.
RSUs. Okay.
Yep, yep. And look, you see they got a 1.2 star rating. I can guarantee you it's because of their interview process. Their interview process is crucial. I like it was like 7, 8 rounds, like
Mm-hmm.
crucial interview process, right? And then you got to go in person and do a loop. Like it's no joke. So who's ever working at Shield AI, like they work their butt off to get in there, and they getting
Mm-hmm.
paid a silly bag.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
And I just want to show that. And so when you all get back out here in these tech streets, these social media streets, and people not paying people $200,000. Here you go. Here's the jobs. What are you gonna do to make sure you qualify for them, and what are you gonna do to make sure you get in, at least be seen and get in the company itself?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Hunter put this in here. What do you think about this? I haven't done too much research on quantum computing and
Mm-hmm.
how it's gonna affect the tech careers and kind of like because for me with GovTech, like that's just I feel like it's very far away for GovTech in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion in terms of like what we see coming down the pipeline, what they're announcing for
Mm-hmm.
the next 10, 20 years. So of course it's coming, but what do you think about this? This person Hunter said post quantum is the next evolution in modern cybersecurity. It's the use of cryptography to secure against both classic and quantum computers. RF, yeah, and it has unlimited use cases across almost every domain. Yeah, what do you think about quantum computing? I know Google is investing heavily in quantum.
Yep. So quantum, I did a whole show on this. Quantum
Oh,
is
really?
actually, yep, quantum computing is actually considered a what they call a matter of a national threat. So the reason for that is they actually have a program from K through 12 teaching quantum computing to kindergartners all the way to 12th grade, because it is considered a national threat to the United States, and they're looking for more and more people to enter into the roles as well. Yes, on the cybersecurity part, but they're already using quantum computing at Mercedes for the actual electric batteries. They're also using it at IBM. IBM had a job out there a couple of years ago for a DevSecOps engineer in a quantum computing environment to actually deploy CI/CD pipeline to a quantum computer, and they were looking for people to come in. They're like, you don't need to know about quantum computing. You need to understand the CI/CD pipelines to get people's application to that quantum computer. So yes, to the quantum computer. I think that is, if we're talking about people learning now, I would center people around understanding security, DevSecOps to a quantum computer, and then understanding the use cases of quantum computer, and then doing research. So I would be looking at research from a research perspective. So from that research perspective is your colleges, your IBMs, your Microsofts, your Georgia Techs. People sleep on Honeywell.
Hunter
Um,
saying IBM is the worldwide leader in all quantum
mhm,
tech and
mhm.
quantum enablement.
Yep. So
All
and
right.
then your Honeywell. IBM is the leader, but I think they might have got knocked off earlier this year. And Hunter, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Now I know they got knocked off on their patents. They had the most patents in the United States, but I think they might have got knocked off.
Let me see. Trying to find something that we can pull up.
Yeah,
Like I said, I
I'll find
don't.
something real quick.
Okay, I got something. Let's see
So
if you find
so
something else, you could drop it
oh
too.
yeah, so a couple of years ago, the Department of Energy came out with they were looking for people to go to help with quantum computing, and I think they had a 100 billion that they had to spend by 2026, all centered around quantum computing.
Okay, so this is probably like something for this company. This is as Blue Quibit, or I've never heard of this
Hmm.
company before. Are they number
Hmm.
one, or are they just tooting their own horn? I don't know. They
Blue
put IBM
Cubit,
in
and
there
then
too.
IBM. Yep. And then
Google.
again Azure Quantum, QC Quantum. Again, when we start talking about IONQ,
Hmm.
there's a couple of
That
other
stock
ones.
had went crazy.
Yep, D Wave Systems is another one. So again, uh, you're talking about companies that are up and coming, but IBM again, as old as it is, as people try to write them off as a dinosaur, they're still around.
What do you think about
And
Intel?
so you know what with Intel, like Intel was hot back in the day, but now they have fallen off. When they supposed to get purchased?
I don't know, but they got a new CEO. I know that.
Okay, I
They got a
think they
new
were supposed
CEO.
to
The
get
stock look
purchased.
good. The stock chart looks good, but I don't know exactly what's happening. One of my boys, he has a stock thesis on Intel, but I don't know exactly like what they're doing. I just know they got a new CEO.
Hmm, I don't know. See, 2 months ago, Intel's new CEO is putting his money where his mouth is. Is
Uh-huh.
purchasing 25 million stock,
Yeah,
25
yeah.
million stock from
He
the
bought the
company.
stock.
Hmm. So they were selling majority stake in April of Altera. Intel has agreed to sell 51% stake of the programmable chip business. Hmm. Oh no, I have to look at Intel. Um.
Yeah, I just looking at
It.
the chart. I was like, the chart does look good, and you news typically
Yeah.
follows
I
the
just.
chart.
This is what I don't hear. I don't hear people like, "Oh, I got to get this Intel chip for my AI
Right,
model." I
right.
don't hear that. Right?
Mm-mm.
I don't hear that. So I'm not knocking them. I just don't hear it. And maybe
Right.
because my ears are not to the street for Intel. That's just where that's what I'm playing it safe there. I will have to research them. I'll research them tonight. I'll talk
Yeah.
about them on my show. How about that?
Jazz said, Where's the best place they can follow tech news?" I'm on Twitter 24/7, so that's where I get my news from.
Um, so I have feeds, so I get my news from everywhere. From watching what they're doing over at TechCrunch as well. Different couple of different YouTube channels I watch and follow. I also look at not just the in the government space, but um in the college space, like creating doing their research and what their research is centered around, even though it may be 4 5 6 7 years. That's just I'm looking at that space because I know people from startups or VCs or something like that are going to fund those or start poaching people to do that work. So I'm just looking to see what they're talking about. So that's just me. I stayed looking at what research is coming out, especially when we start talking about high performance computing. We're talking about modeling. We haven't even started. What we have not talked about all night is the medical field and tech in the medical field and how that's being
Mm-hmm.
used. That's another, like, do you know how much tech goes into cancer research, and how much data, and how many different circles and models and stuff that they train for that, even down to our phone. Like, I don't even think we realize how much we give away text wise on our phones for natural language processing and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many different areas in tech that you could focus in, right? And I just think that you kind of got to lean on your strengths, right? Like I know,
Hmm.
like if you've already been in healthcare, I always tell people like, well, maybe you should focus on healthcare tech because you have like specialized knowledge that other people just don't have, right? And then it's the same thing like with you, like what you're talking about with like Linux and infrastructure, right? Like that's specialized knowledge other people just don't have. So don't get too caught up on like all of the new trends and things like that.
Hmm.
Stay in your lane, right? But continue to evolve with your lane too. Like
Hmm.
where's the money flowing? Where do you need to upskill at? What type of skills you need to gain? Do you need new certs, right? Do you need to pivot industries or companies like something, right? But you got to just keep up with it.
So I just went and just typed it in. I just wanted to know what were
Hmm.
the largest medical research universities. So John Hopkins, Harvard, Stanford, Penn State, or University of Penn, Columbia, Duke. Like, those are your top. Then you got University of Michigan, University of Oxford, and UCSF. Now, when I say that, I'm saying that from a perspective of those universities, those research universities have servers, they have desktops, they have infrastructure, they have they have money, right? They literally have money, right? To help them continue their research and so forth. And so they have a staff that helps them while they do that, right? So, don't be afraid to go look at the state, or I should say the private public or state schools that have their medical research budget, right? So I'm just gonna type in John Hopkins University medical budget for 2024. I'm just curious as to what that was. So their budget for John Hopkins budget was 1.022 billion in research funding from the NIH. So their research budget is 1.022 billion, right? So so they're not putting that in test tubes.
Right, right.
Right. So just throwing it out there as you like look right for stuff, especially if you're like, oh, I work in the medical field and I want to get into tech. Okay, well, there's a happy marriage here, right? So you could be supporting the next cancer research, or you could be working at some private company that's doing research with the government for whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I think we could talk about this all night. Somebody in the chat has said they said this should be tech after dark. They said they
That's
love this.
fun.
I know they love when we get together. But yeah, no, this was great. This was great. It's getting late over here. We've been going for a little over 2 hours now, but
Mm,
Tameika, where can people find you at if they want to, learn from you, follow you, subscribe to your YouTube channel?
yep. Everything women in Linux. We are. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. I don't know if most people know, but I lost my mom last month.
I'm
So I've
sorry to hear
been.
that.
Thank you. So I've been, trying to work out, the new normal of like, what is it? What does tech look like? How do I automate? the house. How do I
Mm-hmm.
what Linux boxes am I going to use? This, that, and other. So just getting back in the swing of things, of all of that. But yeah, find me everywhere on social media, Women in Linux. If I have hit you back on LinkedIn, but I am gonna hit you back. Just give me a minute. I'll make sure I get back to you. I told people I'm coming back. I got a whole slew of topics to talk about. Just things that I see that I think we need to be aware of. Like one of the big topics that I want to talk about this week was this one lady was like, I think it was on the Dave Ramsey show. She trusted somebody and lost 8 million in her life savings, so she had to start over with 531,000. Don't scratch it.
I but you want to know one of my rules? I know we said we was gonna rap, but you want to know one of my rules? I will not give anybody any money to do anything for me, investing wise, right? Not to
Mhm.
buy real estate, not to invest, not to trade stocks, not to trade crypto, not to do anything. Because what I've
Mhm.
learned and what I've seen is it never turns out good. Like,
Mhm.
trust me, this is my new motto. If I'm gonna lose money, I'm gonna lose money on my own. So
Mhm.
I ain't giving it up to nobody else because 9 times out of 10, they're probably gonna lose your money or you're just flat out getting scammed. Like that's what
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
realized. Put your
Fees.
money in the market, put your money into real estate. Don't go
Mhm.
giving your money to somebody else to go and flip it for you or invest it, whatever type of opportunity they claim they have for you.
And so that's this the other part of tech that we don't talk about enough is like, yeah, you see the salaries, but what you don't see is the tax man coming for you, and you sitting over
Hmm.
here and you like, I'm I made 300,000 and I live in an apartment. I ain't never gonna buy nothing, no real estate, until you get that tax bill when they say drop me 20,000 for these taxes. We appreciate you. Then you start looking at yourself like, oh, I need a tax shelter. But you W-2, fam. You W-2.
Look, Look, we gonna have to talk about that a different day because we could go on about taxes. I've been talking about this. Like I made a thread on this on Twitter recently about like once you start earning 200K plus in tech, you need to start thinking about tax strategies, right? People are like, well, why are you putting so much money into your 401K? Why are you maxing out your 401K more than a match? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you putting money into a backdoor Roth? I'm like, look, it's a different type of wealth strategy and tax planning strategy when you're making more money, right? So you
Yep.
got to think about these things. And we could go on for a whole nother 2 hours about that. So we're gonna have to come back again maybe next week to talk about
Yeah.
actual building wealth with tech because
Yep.
people don't realize it just because, like I said, I mean, the one of the core issues is first, most people don't believe they can get to these type of incomes.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you think it's out of reach, once you do get to it, if you do get to it, you don't know what to do with that money, right? You don't know what
Mm-hmm.
to do to save, what to do to invest, what to do to save on taxes. And it's not stuff that we were taught. So it's stuff that you learn over time, maybe leaning on some experts. But you've been doing this for, you know,
20.
decades,
20
right?
plus. 20 plus. I've
I've
been
been doing this for just one
20,
decade, right? I'm almost
20,
at two.
24 years.
Mm-hmm.
20,
Yeah,
24
yeah. I
years.
would say, I'm almost at 10 years of making over 200K, right? So I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing these type of investment strategies, tax strategies too for a while, but it's like you don't know until you get there. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not even stuff that people think about. So we
I
definitely
tell
can
you,
talk about it for sure.
200 over, probably 14 years. 14 years. So half. Cause back then, like 200K, people were like, that wasn't a thing. People just was happy to make 100K. I was like, man, I gotta get past that. There's more money out here. Let me. What you do for a living?
You know my story. As soon as I saw them black people buying mansions in Bowie and buying BMWs all cash, they was buying the cars cash, the mansions cash. I'm like, what are they doing? As soon as my
Mm-hmm.
mom told me they overseas government contractors, they going overseas making 400, 500,000. That's what I'm gonna do,
Bet.
and that's what I did. Right, like that was it for me. That's all I had to see. And once I found it was
Mm-hmm.
tax free, your housing was
Mm-hmm.
free, food free, transportation
Mm-hmm.
free. I mean, I was sold. It was nothing else I needed to hear.
Yep. And that's the other part of tech too that I know you talk about. I got a couple of friends that did it. I didn't make the journey for because of my mom, but I've been fortunate enough that I made just as much as folks who've made that journey. But it's not been by, oh my goodness, sitting there looking at somebody. Nah, it's going in, you murking the interviews and knocking it out of the park. Like one and done. Let's get this thing going. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 interviews. You don't want me. You
Right.
don't want me.
Facts, facts.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's a whole different game. With them startups, they're gonna have you jumping through them hoops, but you really don't have to go that way if you don't want to. So
Yeah. Yeah. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm sorry. You know what I
you
mean? I can
good, you
like I
good.
said, I can go on, man. I can go on.
Facts, facts. No, I definitely appreciate you. We definitely got to make this like something that's like standing. So we just stay on top of like all the news, keep up with people. It don't even got to be every week. Maybe a couple
Mm.
times a month or once a month we do this one,
But
and that'll
stuff
be
come out
dope.
so quick though, man. You
It
get
come out
yeah.
fast.
It come
Come
out
out
so quick.
fast.
It's almost like you just as soon as you see it, just go live now. Go live now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is great. But yeah, y'all go follow Tameika, Women in Linux everywhere. Y'all, if you aren't following me, make sure you follow me too. Simone B's on all platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, right? And then also, if you want to see more of this type of content, I did an interview with Tameika before. So on my YouTube channel, definitely go check it out. Just search her name, she'll come up. And then also as well, Tameika will be speaking at GovTechCon too. So that is a 3-day conference happening September 11th through the 13th. So definitely make sure that you come out to GovTechCon because you definitely don't want to miss it, right? Get 20% off your GovTechCon ticket at govtechcon.com. It's going to be career fair, career talks, technical workshops, and a bunch of networking. It's a good time. So come out, have fun, and we'll see you in September. And it's like only 10 minutes from DC. So it's at the Gaylord National Convention Center. So hopefully we
Yep.
see you there this year because it's going to be bigger and better.
Yep.
But
Is it when is it? Is it October?
Sep-
September?
September
Okay.
11th through the 13th. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Right.
September
Right. Right
11th through
for
13th.
right before Howard homecoming, and right
Uh-huh.
before it
Oh,
get too
September's
cold.
gonna be crazy in the
Yeah.
DMV.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody. Like I said, make sure y'all follow, subscribe, go follow us and tap in and make sure you're paying attention. But most importantly, make sure that you're putting in that work and you'll be able to, reach the goals that you want to reach in your tech career. And I appreciate y'all for coming out. I do have an outro screen. I'm trying to remember how to get to it. I don't even remember. I don't even remember how to get to the dang on outro. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I'm gonna find it. It's somewhere. Oh, it might be going. Oh, there we go. All right, y'all. Y'all be easy. I appreciate y'all.
I was
You get to watch, it's perfect timing. I can see clear, clarity diamonds. Ice on the crew, everybody shining. Can't nobody stop me from grinding. at the watch, it's perfect timing. I can see clear, clarity diamonds, ice on the crew. Everybody shining, can't nobody stop me from grinding.